Jag får inte köra den så hårt.
Hello everyone. I was just wondering if you knew what to do when the basils start to look this pale. I haven't had the time to get nerdy about fertilization and such. We have a lot of rabbit's poo, compost and chicken poo here in the soil, so it shouldn't be unfertilized. And the other plants seems to come along well. This is exciting. And the tomatoes are starting to ripen here. I hope we get something out of this before it starts to get -degrees. It already was in 2 places close by here under 0 degrees Celsius.
I'm trying to do a starter culture because I'm gonna do some goat cheese tomorrow and some yogurt and some Swedish thing called fil. It's a sour sour milk, I think you can call it. It's what you eat for breakfast often in Sweden. I learned in school that I have to pasteurize the starter culture milk, so the right bacteria's gonna take over from the beginning. So I have bought some starter culture from an internet store that sells this kind of stuff, cheese stuff. So I'm gonna do a mesophil and a thermophil. Thermophil is for yogurt and mesophil is for the cheese and sour milk. And I have to go up to 90 degrees for 10 minutes and then chill it to 45 degrees for the yogurt and 25 degrees for the sour milk. Lät det vettigt eller?
Ja.
I have bought a starter culture because this is not our milk, and I'm sure this milk is also good from the next door farmer, but it isn't mine, and I want to be sure that it is the good bacteria that wins. So therefore I bought some good bacteria to start with. When we have our own cows, hopefully they will have such good milk that we can just put cream or milk aside and it will be sour cream by itself. So I start with this and we're gonna have to experiment what is best for us and what's working. When I have done this, I can take the ready sour milk or the ready yogurt and apply to the new batch. So this procedure I don't have to do every time, just once in a while when I need a new culture.
If you think we look tired, it's because we were on a concert yesterday. And it was Vardruna, really good band, you should check them out. And also Eivor. It was quite an experience.
And at the concert we met a guy who recognized us from the videos. That was pretty funny. So we talked a little bit and we just wanted to say, hi Pontus, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, that was quite funny and unexpected. We harvested 2 cucumbers again and are making a new batch of sour pickles. It was really nice, the first one, so we need more. So this is just for the starter culture. You shouldn't otherwise destroy milk by pasteurizing.
The yogurt culture have to keep an even temperature for about 45 degrees for 3 to 5 hours to develop. And hopefully this thermos will do it. I will put it inside.
In Sweden we have something called fil, and it's a different bacteria culture from yogurt. I don't know if there is any English name or why there are fil here, but not that I heard of anywhere else.
We're gonna try to do a natural sour milk by just warming it to 20 Celsius degrees and then put it inside over the night and see what happens. If it has its own natural bacteria that ferment it, or if it's a poor milk that don't have the power to do it. This milk is unpasteurized. Just gonna heat it to 20 degrees by putting in putting it in warm water.
My new favorite, carrot zucchini pancakes, seasoned with cinnamon and ingefära. Ginger.
Säg vad järnet heter.
Plättjärn. Va?
Säg då.
Vad ska jag säga? The pancakes are ready and the soup is warmed. So we're gonna go inside and eat. We should have been in bed already since we didn't sleep that much last night. It's gonna be an early morning tomorrow. We're gonna go get a lot of milk from the farmer and use this one separator and make some cream that we're gonna make into butter.
It's early morning and we have been fetching milk from the farmer. So we're gonna separate it and do some cream and butter in the end. The milk has to be lukewarm or directly from the cow to separate it. It's still warm, so we have to hurry a bit so we don't have to warm it on the stove or something.
I feel that we have built too small a outdoor kitchen. So, cream and skim milk. I guess it's called skim milk. In Swedish it's called skummjölk. The milk without any of the fats. And all the fats. So we took away some of the skim milk for kvarg. I don't know what that's in English, but if you have some suggestions of what we can do with the skim milk, we would appreciate it. As for now, we give most of it to the pigs. They appreciate it. The products we can make with skim milk is not that good.
Gammelost.
There is something called gammelost.
Old cheese.
Yes, a kind of cheese you can make with the skim milk. And it's like, I don't know, it's like a fat-free. Everything you make with skim milk, it's fat-free.
Almost.
Almost fat-free. And it doesn't taste that good. But some like the taste of old cheese or gammelost. Tova's father liked the old cheese very much.
It's
So
directly translated. It's gammelost in Swedish and old cheese in English.
Directly translated.
So it's not, it's old cheese when you eat it. But you have to store it for quite a while, and my dad says he prefers it when it can walk away on its own, sort of.
We got 4 liters of cream. That's good.
Nu måste jag åka iväg. Så nu får du göra plats, torka av det här och göra plats för allt det här. Den där också nere i källaren, så länge.
Tova went to get some goat's milk from a friend in a neighboring village. And I need to start a fire, which we should have done before, but we had to hurry with the milk, so it was warm still when we separated it.
Inga vedspred, va? Du kan smaka lite. Ska vi smaka? Smakar dåligt?
Nej. This is now what is called feel. It's like yogurt, but it's not yogurt. This is the starter culture from the pasteurized milk. So now we need to just take a batch of raw milk and just put a part of this in that raw milk, and then we have raw milk feel. And what Tova has learned is that for now we have this bought culture that has particular kinds of bacteria in it. But after we have made our own, and every time we make a new batch and take some of the old and put it in the new, and after a while it's supposed to develop according to this climate and those cows and what kind of bacteria are here.
Så vi måste ju hälla försiktigt och sen kolla då. Att det blir 7 i varje.
Det ska hit i den här.
I de här 2. Ja, det stämmer eller?
Den här stämmer. Den här. Vad var det för produkt du läste innan den var här?
Häll över lite. Nu ska vi värma till 32 grader. Hur ska jag veta om det räcker? This is goat's milk that I got from a friend in a nearby village. I'm gonna try to do in Swedish called källarlagrad getost. Cellar stored goat cheese. And it's gonna be a wild mold. I'm not gonna put some mold in it, so it have to grow by itself, and we'll see what kind it is. I have never done this at home before, so this is very exciting. See what it is. My mom and dad has a cellar beneath their house, and I'm not sure what the climate is or what kind of mold they have in it. So this could become anything. We'll see in a couple of months. I'm gonna warm this to 32 degrees, then take it off the stove and put the cultured cream I made yesterday and let it be for about 15 minutes before putting in the coagulant.
I think this is very exciting that Tova has started with this at home now. This summer has been so hectic, so we haven't been able to fix all the things we need to be able to make these cheeses and all this cultured milk stuff. It's always like that when you are at a school and there is every possibility and you have the gears and the means and the time to do all these things when you are at the school. But then when you come home and want to start, you need to buy this or that gadgets or fix, and you don't have the creamery or whatever the school is about. It's always a little bit hard to start doing all these things you learn in the school at home. Vad satte du till?
Kulturen.
Ja. We have this saying in Swedish, lite skräp rensa magen.
Nej, lite skit rensar magen. Ta på dig.
Directly translated, it's a little shit
Cleanses the stomach.
cleanses the stomach. Ja, men så det är nog som du säger, lite shit rensa magen. Så är det nog.
Jag vet inte vilken sorts uppsättning man ska ha. Alltså, man vet att bara 35. Men satröv. Gå bort det. Den sitter på mig. Kan du ta bort den? Nu är den här. Jag måste göra det här nu. Ja, men den sitter och klättrar på mig. Måste se. Det ser lite löst ut. I'm cutting cubes.
Why are you cutting cubes?
Goat milk is a bit sensitive, so you have to be careful when you're handling it. When you're making cheese, you are cutting it and then stirring slowly. And depending on what cheese you're doing, You have different size of cubes. Åh nej, den här har delat. You see the circle ones? I didn't manage to stop it correctly when I stirred it, when I put in the rennet. And then it keeps on moving and it got separated. So this cheese mass is gonna be harder than the other one because of all this. There are extra surfaces inside here that makes the water go out more easily, and the cheese mass are gonna be drier and harder. I don't know if that is bad when it comes to goat cheese because it's so fragile. Känns som jag inte kommer ihåg någonting. Röra. Är klockan? And it makes it more difficult to only have two instead of one.
Yeah, we need to get a bigger pot. But how big a pot?
Maybe 20 liters.
What's the price of those?
Very mucho expensive. I have to cut down the bigger pieces.
So the sizes of those crumbs decides what?
How wet the cheese is gonna be. If it's bigger lumps, they store more water and you have a softer cheese. If you want to make a hard cheese, you're gonna have smaller lumps with less water in it. So it's gonna be a hard, drier cheese. If you want like a brie or camembert or something, or a blue cheese, you have larger lumps, and you have to stir them very gently so they don't break. And when you stir, every lump is building a barrier or on the outside that makes them stay together better and keep the liquid inside. And you have 10 minutes with the processing of cutting the cheese. When 10 minutes is gone, you have to start stirring it. Fråga mig inte varför just nu, för det kommer jag fan inte ihåg. Men det är väl för att de börjar stänga sig, liksom porerna. Jag kanske ska hämta något annat att röra med. I'm gonna stir for about 10 minutes and then we're gonna take it to the stove and heat it to about 38 degrees. This is going to be a semi-hard cheese, not like the Alp cheeses and not like the brie cheeses, something in the middle. And if you're not stirring, it will fall to the bottom and build a
big lump.
Cake. And you want it to move, so like I said, the lumps builds a skin, sort of.
Ska du putta ner den där biten?
Vad? Stör du dig eller?
Tror inte jag.
So if you're used to the milk and know how it works, you are going to be able to feel when it's ready or what consistency you want. But this is my first time with this milk, first time at home, first time with this cheese, so I'm not really sure what it's gonna feel like, but I think I'm maybe done. See if you can see. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see it's like a sort of skin on the outside, and it's moist and soft inside. And when we have stirred, the skin has developed. I think we're gonna shape it. Ja, nu tar vi ut den.
Fin träbotten i Tjörn. Den kändes finare den formen där också, den här avlång.
Jag tror Pella har gjort den där till mamma när hon gjorde ost.
Du behöver inte de här grejerna. Eller?
Nej, jag tror inte det.
Så hårt. Runt allting är samma.
Hoppas det. Svårt att få tag på allting. Det plats allting. Sen tömmer vi hit.
Ska vi ha med den där?
Nej, inte när de hamnar på bänken. Har de ingen syrlig eftersmak alls? Det är syra faktiskt.
Inte minuter, det går inte. Det är ju ingenting.
Getmjölk är ju... Nu ska vi hälla bort det här.
Det här ska...
Häll ut det bara. Det är ju väldigt sockerrikt. Så att om man häller ut det, det kommer ju liksom bildas bakterier typ där man häller ut det. För att det liksom gillar ju socker liksom. Ja, den får väl stå lite grann. Och sen häller vi över det här i en och samma kastrull. Tror jag ska försöka vända den nu. Där då.
Så jättefin ut.
Så ju trä håller ju värmen mycket bättre också. Så att den...
En plast.
Och metall.
Kan man ha metallform?
Vit kaprin oftast. we put it in a wooden mold, let it be for a couple of minutes, and then I turned it inside the fold to get a nicer shape. If you're too slow to turn it the first time, you're gonna have like cracks. And I'm gonna leave it in here now. It's a little bit warmer in here than outside. It's good if it's like 22 degrees at least inside, because the release of the whey goes better and faster. So I'm gonna turn it at least 2 times more, maybe 3, these nearest 5 hours.
Okay, så med där.
Now I'm doing a new batch of the Swedish feel, sour milk. So I'm just having the raw milk, warming it to 23 degrees, and I'm gonna put 2% starter culture that we made yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And let it stand in the room temperature until tomorrow.
Well, it's the next day, and Tova is gonna see how the cheese is looking.
Mm. Måste folla det.
Mm.
I think it's too wet. My mistake yesterday was to let the cheese mass get too hard, so it like kept too much wetness. So it's a little bit damp. And the risk now is that you have the process will go slower in the middle. The risk is that in the middle or in the core there will be it's called after culturing, or how to say it. So it's gonna be a hard core where it's not aged while the rest of the cheese is aged. So we will see when we open it in a couple of months. I'm gonna weigh it and salt it anyway. $1269. De ska ha haft det mindre saltet.
When we separated the milk yesterday, we got cream and skim milk. And as I said, skim milk is barely edible. We feed it to the pigs. But there are some products you can make from it. Can I say so?
Really strong.
This is a really distinct flavored cheese that some people like. Here is something called messmör. A thing when you reduce whey really much, you end up with something called messmör. Really sweet
Cola.
cola.
Fudge.
like some kind of fudge tasting spreadable butter.
In Swedish it's called kvarg, and I have no idea what to call it in English. I have to look it up. It's just made of the skim milk, and I put culture in it for a few hours and then rennet for 24 hours. Now it's like a cake, and I'm gonna just put it in a net and let it
drain
for maybe 20 minutes. So it's a thicker mass, and then you eat it like breakfast yogurt, sort of.
Google Translate said it was cottage cheese, but that's not
No.
accurate.
It feels like there's a lot of milk products that exists here, but maybe not in the same way.
Yeah, but
Or
when I have read now in this Art of Fermentation book that we just got, there seems to be a lot of different milk making or milk förädling. There seems to be a lot of different cultures, different ways of
handling the milk.
Handling milk in the world, and in Western languages, everything is just called yogurt, even though it doesn't have to be, or if it's not yogurt.
Some of yesterday's cheese making, I wasn't happy with the goat cheese I made. I think it's too wet, and yeah, it was, I think, a failed experiment, but we'll see in a couple of months how it looked like.
Okay, but that was the first cheese we ever made here.
Yeah, but I went for a year to school, but this is the first time at home with some simpler equipment and new milk and everything, but yeah, I should be able to do better.
The thing is, me and Tova, we met at a school where we studied leather tanning,
different crafts from
the past, old endangered skills, and at the school it was really fun, and it was easy to be making all this stuff when we had the tools and the utrymme,
the space to do it. And here we find ourselves lacking certain tools and don't have the perfect space for it,
or we don't have the funds to get every item we need to make everything. So what are we missing now from the cheese making? What do we need?
Another house to do it in, because this one is
bigger,
crowded, and this is our regular kitchen, and I need maybe a special kitchen where I have all my tools and all my stuff, and I know where to have what.
And we need a bigger pot.
Yeah, maybe 20 liter or something that we can put on the stove. And I need some vispar. Yeah.
Some small gadgets are still missing.
And also the house where I can put the cheeses, because now we have to carry on them inside.
A cheese cellar. Yeah.
And cheese cellar, and somewhere to have the cheeses while they still are new.
Maturing or...
before maturing, when they're in salting and yeah. So a small house for that. Now it's been a lot of running around finding stuff and finding place and where I'm gonna put this.
Yes, and we also need some permanent place for that separator. We just the first time we used it, it was also almost falling over because it has just these legs, and now we made a bigger board for it to stand on, but there is no room here for this to be here, so we need to build a special creamery.
So we will have to take this experience and do something with it until the next time. So hopefully it will be better.
I guess we have to adjust us and just make cheeses with the things we have now, and with time build up a better creamery.
Ja. Hej! Är ni trött? Har ni cyklat ner för backen?
Eller ska vi säga welcome to YouTube's #1 fermentation channel.
So we're just gonna tell you what we have achieved these 2 days. We have made yogurt, and we have made...
Which one is yogurt?
This is yogurt. This is yogurt. This is kvari. Google Translate says cottage cheese, but that's not it. It's sort of cheese, but it's also sort of yogurt. I don't know, really. We have sour milk, the Swedish breakfast feel. We are also long feel, which is a kind of sour milk, but it's seg.
Really stretchy.
Stretchy in consistence. We have cream that we are going to let sour for a bit, so it becomes sour cream. I have made 1 goat cheese and 1 gammelost, old cheese.
It's directly translated, as you said.
It's like the gammelost is a traditional cheese that they have made.
Area.
Yeah, in this area that I have made for a long time. So it's at least for the old folks a tasty thing. I don't know, I don't like it very much.
Well, have fun singing.
So this is long feel. You can see the consistency is like slimy, but lovely. Hopefully it tastes good too.
Ja, den var ju bra.
It's kind of hard to scoop it up.
There was we just bought a book called The Art of Fermentation by Sandor Katz, I think. And there was a story there about long feel. Someone had made it in a bowl, and when it ferments, it rises a little bit. And then when it started to seep over the edge of the bowl, the little strain that came over the edge of the bowl took the whole dollop of feel with it down to the floor.
So it's alive. Smakar bra. I like it.
Really
good.
Really good. Raw milk and your starter culture. Yes.
Yeah. And some blueberry.
Can you mix this with some cream?
Probably.
But this is not ready yet, or?
But it's good. I've tasted. A little bit loose maybe. But thicker than yesterday.
Ska vi säga att det är färdigt? I guess this is it for this episode.
Thank you for watching and see you in the next vlog. Lät det konstigt? Kind of difficult to eat this.
Yeah, it doesn't stay on the spoon.
No. And you have strands all over your face.
What's the difference between this culture and this regular feel?
Different bacteria. I don't know. This is the kind who makes it more slimy.